Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Comparative market analysis in real estate. This is the next lecture which we are taking in real estate finance and investment strategy course. So first, the learning objectives. By end of this lecture, you will understand fundamental principles of comparative market analysis. We have in previous class studied about the property valuation principles, the different type of other methods which are there apart from comparative market analysis, and what are the different things which impact property valuation. So here we will be understanding the fundamental principle of a specific method of comparative market analysis. Then property comparison and adjustment techniques, that will be there. Market data collection and verification method for this technique. Professional CMA report preparation, how it is done, that will be there, and application across different property types in India. And we will try to build a real world property investment decision framework, like how these investment decisions are taken like in for property valuation. So what is comparative market analysis? So first, the definition: a valuation method that estimates property market value by comparing it to similar properties that have recently sold, are currently listed, or failed to sell in the same market area. So we are basically doing what? We are doing comparison with similar properties which have been either recently sold, or they are there for the listing, like people are trying to sell them, or they have not been able to sell them. So all these comparables will help us in understanding and gauging the value of a property we are trying to ascertain. So that is there. Then based on the principle of substitution, rational buyer will not pay more for a property when similar alternatives are available at lower prices. So idea here is that we are trying to gauge valuation, understanding that if a similar type of property has gone into market and there was a specific price value for that property, and the time difference is also not there, then in that case, why will somebody pay more for another property of similar size and in similar locality and almost similar time frame? So that is the basic concept behind this method. And we also have to understand this is a very widely used approach in residential real estate market. So also the lending industry, the valuation experts there for mortgage properties, they do this kind of analysis a lot. They use comparables a lot for their value identification. Then some key assumptions are made here in this method in CMA. So buyers have knowledge of available alternatives. That is the first assumption which we are making. Buyers act rationally to minimize cost. They are acting rationally to minimize the cost. That is another assumption we are making. No significant barriers prevent property substitution. There is no significant barriers preventing property substitution. There are other alternative substitutes available in the market. It's easily to replace this one. And then sufficient market activity exists for meaningful comparison. There is a there is transaction taking place in that area, and these properties are being transacted, and that is how we can make a comparable. So these are some assumptions which we are making regarding the property market when we are using this method. So perfect substitution rarely exists. Requiring professional adjustment for property differences has to be there, and there the property valuer comes into picture. Sometimes you will see that the size is different. Sometimes you will see that the property location is not exactly same. We have already seen that in the same building itself, one particular flat is sea facing, other is not. So there is a proper price differences there. So these adjustments have to be made, and exactly like to like, if comparable do exist, then there is no need for valuer. So of course there is a need for valuation expert, and they come into picture by putting in all these adjustments. Then comparing CMA with other valuation methods, we have in last class also, we have seen that there are other valuation methods also apart from comparables. These methods are income approach and cost approach. So we will see through this table that what are the differences. So in CMA, we see that focus is market behavior, how the transactions are taking place in market. So that is governing this method. Income approach, the commercial properties, the rent giving type of properties, they are included in that. So income approach, as the name suggests, so their cash generation is looked into. And cost approach basically goes into replacement cost area, and that is the focus for them. So CMA best for active markets where transactions are frequently taking place. Income approach, investment properties are there. Cost approach, new construction, something new has been built, in that case we will use cost approach. Then there are certain limitations for all the three techniques. So for CMA, we require comparable data. Similar type of transaction must be there in the market, so we can use them for our purpose. So that is there. Then income approach has complex calculations. You will have to have a proper understanding of those calculations, and then only you can come up with the valuation. And then cost approach, basically, which these ignore market demand. Basically, it's a new construction kind of replacement cost technique. So it has its own issues with not focusing on the market. So that is the three techniques and how they are compared to each other. Then types of comparable properties. So we have sold comparables, completed transaction which have recently happened. These are very reliable because we have the full data with us. They are not in line to be sold, they have actually been sold. So there is a complete data available. So it's a kind of gold standard here. Then we have active listings which are there, for example, in online portals. People do put their advertisements for selling their units or maybe for renting out. So there are these active listings which are available. Then we have pending sales, some sales which have not taken place but they are in in process. So those properties. And then we have expired listings, those listings which were a long back, they were fixed in these property portals. Somebody wanted to sell their property, but they have not been able to successfully do that. Maybe the price range is too high, maybe there is no buyer available in that area. So these are different things which are there, different type of comparable properties. So sold comparables provide the strongest evidence. Others support market understanding, but the best one is of course the sold comparables, which are like the gold standards. So like I said, sold comparables, the gold standards, the best one. Everything, all the data is there for us, and that is why it can help us in understanding the value of a particular property. So characteristics of a quality sold comparable. So sale is completed within last 6 to 12 months. Similar property type, it is similar to what we are trying to value. Maybe this flat size is almost similar. If it's a villa, it's almost similar size. Conditions are also similar. Let's say our flat is on ground floor. That particular flat is also on ground floor. It's in the same locality, same area. So all these conditions are similar. That is there. Building age is also somewhere similar. Then same or comparable neighborhood, that we have discussed. And then arm length transaction, that is it is not done between related party but parties who are completely this is basically for transparency, that we have discussed before in the last class also, that the transaction is taking place between two parties which are totally unaware of each other. So that kind of open market transaction has happened. And market driven sale is there. It's not a distress sale that person was not requiring money immediately because of that distress they are selling. That kind of condition we don't want. We want actual market sell transaction, and that is something which we are looking for. So that will actually provide us better understanding. So Indian context, if we want to see, it is, we can verify through sub-registrar office records due to potential under-reporting. Sometimes there is also under-reporting also, so that we will have to also adjust, like we have to find out through local brokers and all that. But basically through different avenues, like I interacted with a lending valuation expert and person working for a valuation department in lending company. There that expert told me that they look into different data points and then they make a proper comparable. So then we have active listing after the sold one. Active listings are good. They provide us current market sentiment which is there. They show us immediate competition which is there. What are the other properties which are available in the market? Then they indicate price trends and directions. So price trends and direction we can get through these active listings. But then there are certain limitations. Now what are these limitations? So asking price may exceed achievable sale price, and that is why you will see so many times that on these online portals there are properties which are there for a very long time and they have not got any buyer, because sometimes the asking prices are very high, not at all relevant and not at all market relevant. Then properties may be like overpriced. Too overpriced, people attach emotions to properties, and that is why they come up with these overpriced values. And then price reduction may not be immediately apparent. So these type of listings will not reflect the immediate price reduction which might have happened in the market. So that is also there. That will be visible in sold properties. So typical variance 5 to 15% between asking and selling price. We can definitely assume that to be the case in active listings. Then what are the comparable property selection criteria? So one is the location proximity. That is primary area 0.5 to 1 kilometer in urban areas. Very near to that property, we will try to have a radius of, say, for example, this very close in vicinity 0.5 to 1 kilometer. That is what we are looking for. Secondary areas, extended radius when needed, when we actually are trying to find comparable and we are not getting it. And like I said, we are looking for more than one data point. Sometimes like I spoke of one valuation expert. So there in that case, they can go for secondary area properties also. Then tertiary areas, different neighborhood with similar characteristics. You are not getting similar property anywhere in the vicinity. Then in that case, you may go for some other location and try to find out the similar type of property with similar features. Then time parameters, so optimal 3 to 6 months for active markets, maximum 12 to 18 months in most circumstances. So basically, we will try to have 3 to 6 months as the best time frame. In like the recent property transaction must have happened in 3 to 6 months, not beyond that. But at maximum, we will go for 18 months, not beyond that, because otherwise, because the time has lapsed so much that that value has no significance now. Then property matching requirement. So size parameter. So ideal range plus minus 20% of subject's property size. So whatever our property, that the comparable should also have an area of around 20% to that, plus minus 20% to that, and acceptable range is plus minus 30% with adjustments. Then use consistent measuring standards. We are using the same standard now, like in RERA, we are using carpet area. So if we are using that, we are using same for comparable also. And then age and condition. So construction vintage within plus minus 5 to 10 years. The age of construction should not be more than, the difference between the age of construction should not be more than 10 years. Similar maintenance and renovation status. The condition of the building, the condition of our, real estate should be also similar. And comparable amenities and features. So amenities which are available, they should also be comparable. One should have very 5-star quality amenities and other one should not, other one doesn't have, then in that case it is not comparable. So that should also be similar. Then data sources in Indian market. So we have official government sources, we have sub-registrar office records, we have municipal corporation property tax data, we have development authority records, we have private data providers, and we have Magic Bricks, 99acre, housing.com, we have Knight Frank, CBRE, JLL Research. So Magic Bricks, 99acre, housing.com, these are your online portals. Knight Frank, CBRE, they are your international property consultants. And then we have local property consultants also. So they are having specialized knowledge. So all these areas can provide you data regarding that. So official data coming from government offices, sub-registrar office, municipal corporation, private data providing data can be, we can get it from these online portals, these consultants, international local consultants, and then we can also do primary research, that is we can directly survey and use broker networks for this purpose. So there can be multiple ways in which we can collect the data and then make the comparable. So it's not just straightforward one data point or data, how we are collecting it from multiple sources. Then data verification and validation. So whether the data is of a particular level of quality or not, or it is valid or not, we have to do the verification for that. So we have to ensure information accuracy, that the information is accurate, it is reliable. So primary source is of course government records, direct interviews, that can be there. Then we have secondary sources, we have professional reports, we have established portals. Tertiary sources, social media and verified listings. So basically combination of them, cross verification method, like we are using multiple data points and cross verifying from that, and then we are coming to ascertain that this is the actual value we will go with. Then we have adjustment methodology, which is the core principle here. So what is the basic formula? So adjusted sale price is equal to comparable sale price plus minus adjustments. So always adjust the comparable to the subject property. Always adjust the comparable to the subject property. Comparable is the one which we are using to value our property, and our property here in this condition is subject property. So always adjust the comparable to subject property. We will take a comparable property. Of course, it will not be exactly like to our property, but we will try to adjust that. That is what adjustment is coming for. So if subject is greater than comparable, add to comparable. If subject is less than comparable, then subtract from comparable. So that is what we will do to actually bring them at the same level. Then documentation, justify all adjustment with market evidence. We will try to justify all adjustment with the market evidence. We have seen that we will try to take data from different sources. Now, categories of property differences. So age difference, right, per square feet, what is, how the area, how different the area is. That age condition variation, what percentage is difference between the age of the properties. Then parking space differences, that is becoming a very important issue nowadays in metropolitan cities. So that difference is also taken. These are the quantitative adjustments we are doing. Then qualitative adjustments, so location desirability comes into picture. What how well that location is looked at. Some locations are perceived better in comparison to other locations. So that qualitative adjustments have to be made. View and orientation preferences, sea facing, not sea facing, so that kind of thing. Then amenity availability and quality. So what kind of amenities are available near that particular property. So that kind of adjustments also we have to make. And these are sometimes subjective assessments. So one we have quantitative, that is mostly calculatable. But then we have qualitative, where we require understanding of the valuer, and that helps us in understanding the actual quality adjustments which we have to make. And then market condition adjustments, that is time adjustment for market changes, how long the previous property was sold, so how long back it was sold. So these kind of adjustments also we have to make. Then coming to size adjustment, so we have a calculation example here of how a 1200 square feet apartment, if we want to compare it with 1000 square feet which is sold for 80 lakh, we can find out the market rate per square feet of additional area, and then we can make the adjustment and find out the adjusted price for the subject property. So this process can be used to make the site adjustment. After doing the site adjustment, we have done the comparable. Then coming to age and condition adjustments, so we have new construction, 0 to 2 year, no adjustment requirement, well maintained, 2 to 5% annual depreciation, average condition 3 to 7% annual depreciation, 10 to 20 years building, and then there is a older property 20 plus years, variable is based on the location. So these kind of adjustments have to be made in condition when there is a age is playing a crucial role. So conditional assessment can also be there, the structural integrity, system updates, aesthetic maintenance. Again, qualitative viewpoint of the valuers come into picture, that they will go visit these properties and decide on the quality of that property. Then location adjustment, so metro station, if it is near that, IT parks, schools or hospitals, shopping center. So accordingly, for example, metro station, you will go for 200 to 1000 per square feet within 500 meter, IT parks 300 to 1500 per square feet within 2 kilometers, and school, hospital 100 to 500 per square feet within kilometers. So that is how closer you are to these important services or important points. The closer you are, higher your value is. So these kind of adjustments you will have to make while doing the valuation. Then infrastructure quality, road, power supply, water availability, connectivity impact valuation significantly. So all these amenities which are available, they are also impacting, and for that also adjustments have to be made. Then floor level adjustments. So we have ground floor buildings, we have a residential unit located on ground floor, one which is located on second floor. It can be compared, but we will have to make the adjustment. Higher floors, premium for views, privacy. Ground floor, premium for families, elderly. Top floors often discounted. Water pressure might not be there, heat issues. So all these things. Then optimal floor, second to fifth floor, common premium. So these can be more easily compared to each other. Then third and fifth floor, we have 4 to 7% premium over ground floor. Above 10th floor, variable based on building amenity. So there can be, according to the situation, according to the requirements, there can be different adjustments which have to be made, and with the experience, valuation can be decided by the experienced valuer. Then market condition adjustments. So time adjustment is equal to sale price into market change rate into time difference. So here we can see an example, right? Here we have example where we can see comparable sold 8 months ago for 80 lakhs, and then we have then we are looking at, then we are talking about market appreciation of 6% annually, and then we are doing the adjustment here. So we have 80 lakh into 0.5% into 8, and we are making the time adjusted price, right? So this is the process we will be following for market condition adjustments. Then we have seasonal adjustments in India. So festival and weather impact patterns, we have festival seasons, there we will have +3 to 5% premium. Year end, we might have plus 2 4% premium. In monsoon, minus 2 to 4% discount because of the reduced activity. And summer, we can also again say that there will be a minus 1 to 3% discount. So, festival season activity peaks typically occur during October and November, coinciding with Diwali and other major celebrations. So, transaction activity increases 15 to 25% during these periods, driven by cultural preferences for auspicious timing and bonus payment utilization. So, price premium of 2 to 5% often emerge due to this concentrated demand. Then year end, we have near December through March, corporate bonus payments, tax planning consideration, and favorable weather conditions are there, winters are there. So, property viewing and transaction increases. This period then shows strong buying activity and price stability with slight upward pressure. Then we can also see that in monsoon season, it impacts business negatively. We often see 20 to 30% decrease in transaction activity from June through September. Buyer postponed decisions due to weather related viewing difficulties and seasonal flooding concerns in some areas. Price discounts of 2 to 4% may emerge due to extended monsoon periods. Then summer months also show us a dip. This period is often provides negotiation opportunities for buyers willing to conduct transaction during these less favorable weather. So, regional variations in seasonal pattern reflect local climate, culture, practice and all that, and they also impact the adjustables in India. Then we have a practical CMA example. So, this practical example basically demonstrates systematic CMA application using realistic Indian market data. So, the electronic city location represents basically a well appointed complex within modern amenities. The 1450 square foot area and 2-year age represent current market preference, while the 4th floor location and premium amenities reflect quality positioning. The comparable property from the same time period provides an excellent baseline for analysis. The recent sale data of 2 months prior ensures currency, while the similar age and amenity profile minimize required adjustments. The 1.15 crore sale price provides a reliable starting point for our analysis. The key differences requiring adjustment include the 50 square foot size difference, the 2 floor size elevation difference and the minor time adjustment for market appreciation. These differences represent typical variation encountered in professional practices. The systematic adjustment process demonstrated in the next slide includes professional methodology while showing how multiple factors combine to determine the final conclusion. So, in this context, broader IT corridor dynamic found in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune and other technology focused markets, making the methodology applicable across multiple Indian metropolitan areas. Then moving on to the adjustment calculation. So, time adjustment we can see 1.15 crore into 0.5 into 2 months, then size adjustment, floor adjustment and then we get the final adjusted value of 1.22 crores here. So, this systematic approach ensures that all significant differences receive appropriate consideration while maintaining clear documentation of the adjusted rationale. The final adjusted value of 1.22 crores represent our best estimate of what the comparable property would have sold for it had been identical to our subject property. So, basically what we are saying is that if the comparable property is exactly alike what our property is, then in that case it will be valued at 1.22 crores, and for that we are making time adjustments, right? We are making the size adjustments, we are making the floor adjustment and then we are coming up with the final price. Okay. So, then we have value reconciliation process. So, value reconciliation represents the final analytical step where multiple comparable evidence is combined into a single value conclusion. This process requires both statistical analysis provides objective framework for combining multiple value indicators, calculating mean, median and range of adjusted values, reveal the central tendency and dispersion of our market evidence, standard deviation calculation that helps assess the consistency of our comparable evidence and identify potential outliers requiring investigation. Then mean calculation provide simple average but may be distorted by extreme values. Median calculation offer more stability when outliers are present, and range analysis reveal the breadth of value indications and help establish appropriate value range for the final conclusion. Then we have weightage consideration, recognizing that not all comparable evidence deserve equal influence in final value determination. This is something which we have to remember, that not all the different, whether age, the vicinity closeness, the all these are not equally applicable. Some are some should be given more weight. So that is, weight is also important. What weight you ascribe to a particular adjustment. So that is there. So comparable requiring minimal adjustment deserve higher weight because they are more closely matching the subject property characteristics. So geographical proximity influence weighting decisions. Weighing decisions with same complex or immediate area sales receiving preference over some distant comparable. So if it is close by, it is much more valuable. Transaction circumstances also affect weights. With arm's length sale under normal market condition receiving preference over distress or unusual transactions. Professional judgment combines statistical analysis with market expertise to reach final value conclusion. This judgment considers market trends, economic condition and property specific factors. They may not be fully captured in the comparable analysis. Then we go to CMA report structure. So now this is important, how the documentation is done. So we have property identification, first executive summary, what is the property, what are the conclusions made, valuation conclusions, what are the ranges which we are giving. Generally valuations is given in a specific range, not exact figure but in a specific range is provided. And then market context summary is also given so that a reader can understand fully which market it is situated, what are the conditions there, what kind of amenities are available, all that, a brief overview of that. Then we have analysis section where we have comparable property details. If we have taken comparable, then the comparable property, what are the details, where it is located, if there are more than one, like all the details are properly mentioned. The adjustments we have done, so all those calculations, they should also be there under the adjustment calculation table. And then market trend analysis, that is how the market is stacked up, what are the future possibilities. So all that also will be there in the market trend analysis, and that will also explain the current existing situation. Then supporting documents will also be there in this report. The maps of that area, the photographs, the data sources, different data sources like we have discussed, coming from government, from private and from the primary survey done by the valuer himself or herself. So all that will be also there, supporting documents. Then limiting conditions and assumptions. So what are the assumptions they have drawn on which this analysis was done, and what are the limiting conditions. So there are some certain limitations always in such type of analysis. So they will have to acknowledge that what are the possible limitations of such analysis. So all that will be part of this CMA report structure. Then quality control, very must. So error prevention and accuracy standards. Now how we will do that? Common mistakes we have to avoid. So using asking price instead of sale price. That can be there, because asking price, we have seen that sometimes people ask completely irrational prices, and if you go to any property portal in any area, you will see that sometimes these prices are completely unrealistic to what is the market condition, and that is why you will see that they are there forever. Sometimes they are just like that they are listed and there is no transaction happening. Then so that is why sale prices are important. That is what we are looking for. Adjusting in wrong direction, adjustments have to be done in the right direction. We have already understood what are the different adjustments we have to make, what are the process, and expert valuer will not make this mistake that they have taken the adjustment but in the wrong direction. Instead of doing plus, they have done minus. So that kind of thing should not happen. Then double counting similar factors, that sometime can happen, that you have by error, by mistake, you have taken the same factor twice. You have not discounted in some, while doing the calculation, you have done this. And then inappropriate time periods. Some buildings are not at all similarly, made. So that is their transaction also happened at a different time period. So that inappropriate time periods. And then insufficient data verification. Data which you have used is not completely validated. It's not verified. Sometimes this is I have also with my interactions with the valuation expert, I have found that when they are doing primary data survey, that time they are aware that the property brokers in the specific areas, they can misdirect them because they have their own benefit in raising the prices of that area. So that also has to be taken into consideration, that the data is properly verified. It is coming from the quality sources. And so basically, best practice, 3-tier review process. There should be a self review, there should be a peer review, and there should be a principal approval for all the valuation done, and that will basically curtail this issue of improper quality. So then technological integration. So we have digital tools for modern CMA. We have Excel applications, automated calculation templates. We have templates with the valuation experts generally do have their own templates which they use for doing calculations on the regular basis, because they are frequented with the similar type of property. So they have these templates or they make their templates, and so these are automated calculation templates which they use. Then statistical analysis function, we have already understood mean, median, standard deviation being used. So that will also improve the output of valuation process. That then we have chart generation for trends. So when putting all these data points on a chart, we can get the trends of the price, property prices, where they are heading, in which direction they are heading, and that will be used for predicting the future prices. And then database management system, whatever database you are getting, we are collecting. Sometimes these big organizations, lending companies, they do have their own proprietary database management system where they use all this data and put it. Sometimes so there are certain agencies which are selling data also. So that is basically there. Then we have GIS softwares. So we have distance calculation to amenities. So GIS can help us in that regard, that with a particular property, how far it is located from different amenities, because that will definitely impact the prices. So that is there. Then demographic analysis overlay, that is how the demographic of that area is. So that is also something which is required. That is also important factor in valuation. And then infrastructure impact assessment. There is a lot of new infrastructure being developed in India. New projects are coming. Some are lined, some are already there. sometimes it is very beneficial for a property, but sometimes it can be negative also. So a valuer should be aware of this, and this can be integrated in GIS maps, and that can also help us in understanding what is the current situation of the property is and how it can impact the valuation of that property. And then we have online platforms. We have property portal from where we can extract data. We have automated valuation models. We have market analytics dashboard. So these are a lot of new big data and different modern IT sources which are available for the deep analysis of the real estate market in that area, and can help us in determining the proper valuation of a particular property. Then we have commercial property. Here we are talking about CMA variation. So we have discussed a lot from the perspective of residential properties, but now we will be looking through commercial properties. And so we have additional factors which we have to look into for commercial properties. What is the current lease term and rental rates which are there? Then what is the tenant quality and creditworthiness? So that is something specifically, like these features are some features which are specific to commercial properties. So tenant quality, if it's a marquee tenant, then in that case the overall property value increases, and credit worthiness also increases. Then location, foot traffic, if it's a commercial mall, then in that case location will definitely play a key role in foot traffic and visibility. And then parking availability and convenience. So all these are some additional factors here. Then income correlation. So cross validate with rental comparables, analyze implied capitalization rate, consider lease expiry impact on value. So some of these are important income correlations which we have to see. So for example, market condition analysis for commercial property must consider economic cycle, employment trends, and industry specific factors that affect tenant demand and rental rates. These broader economic considerations often have greater impact on commercial properties than residential markets. We have significant, if we see that significant deviation, then in that case we require investigation and possible adjustments or comparable rejections in case of commercial properties. So commercial properties are not as straightforward as real estate properties. So income correlation analysis will provide essential validation for commercial CMA conclusion. So not just CMA, but income correlation we can also put in, and that will be a better marker or better something which can help us in better analyzing the commercial properties. Similarly, we have seen that analyzing the implied capitalization rates. So all that will be another way to strengthen our analysis of commercial properties. So commercial properties can also be analyzed using CMA. Then we have residential plot land. For there we can also use CMA. So there are some unique considerations. So vacant land valuation requires specialized CMA techniques and acknowledging the unique characteristics of underdeveloped properties. Development portals rather than current improvements drive land values and require modified analytical approaches. Development potential assessment involves analyzing maximum permissible construction under current zoning and building code regulations. Then floor space index or floor area ratio calculations determine buildable area, while setback requirements and height restrictions affect development feasibility. Infrastructure availability significantly impact land values. Properties with existing connections to water supply, electrical system, sewage treatment, and road access command substantial premium over properties requiring infrastructure development. And then we have future development plans and master planning consideration affect land values through anticipated infrastructure improvement and zoning changes. Property positioned to benefit from planned metro lines, highway constructions or commercial development may command premium based on expected future benefits. Then road frontage characteristics create significant value variations. Main road frontage typically command 15 to 20% premium over internal road access due to visibility, accessibility and commercial properties. Corner plot often we receive 10 to 20% premium due to dual frontage and increased development flexibility. Plot size and shape regularly affect development efficiencies and market appeal. Regular rectangular plot enables more efficient development than irregular shapes, while optimal size for specific development types command premiums over plots that are too small or excessively large for typical development patterns. Vastu orientation compliance remain important in many Indian markets, particularly for residential development plots. Properties with appropriate orientation according to Vastu principle may command premium in market where such consideration influence buyer decision. So, all of these are playing important role when it comes to plot or land. Then we have similarly, we have villa and independent house CMA. So, when we are using comparables for that, we have complex valuation elements which are here. Land value versus construction value separation. So, sometimes the land on which a villa is built, we have to segregate them and then we have to understand. Now, why is that? Because sometimes the land value can be very, very high. Especially, let's take example of Mumbai, such type of metropolitan cities. You will see that the land on which villas are built, they were built many years back. Now what has happened is that over the course of period, that price of land has increased a lot. And because as there is no multi-story building over it, and there is a villa, instead of that villa, we can construct a multi-story building. So, that can fetch more value in comparison to the villa. So, that kind of understanding also we will have to have when we compare the villa in such areas. Then unique architectural features. Sometimes some villas are having their own architectural features, very unique in that area. So, that will also play a very crucial role when we are talking about valuing such unique villa. Then landscape and compound area which is there, if that is high, that is in a larger amount, that will also play a crucial role. Then privacy and exclusivity factor. So, some villas there have much more privacy available, and if the transaction has to take place, HNI, high net worth individual, they might be looking for such features and they might quote higher prices for such property. So, valuing a villa is not that straightforward, it's very complex. In metro areas, we will see that 40 to 70% of the total value, land is very big component of that. Land is very big component of that. We have discussed that the land prices have appreciated a lot in these areas, and there are best use cases are different from a villa. So, somebody who wants to buy that villa, they might not be actually looking for villa, but they might be looking for that area. Then the land appreciates, construction depreciates. So, that is there. So, old villas in a very bad situation, land has appreciated a lot, building has not much value. And then site coverage ratio also impact the value. That is how coverage has been done. So, that is also playing a crucial role in CMA of these houses, villas. Then challenging CMA scenario. So, we have limited comparable data that can be there, that can create an issue. Expand geographical search area. If we are not finding them nearby, then we will have to expand the search area. Extend time period with appropriate adjustments. If recently no transaction has taken place, we will go back in time, but we will then have to make proper adjustments for that. Use different property types with larger adjustments, that can also be done. Then cross reference with income approach, we can use income approach, like for commercial properties we have seen that we also employ income approach along with CMA, so that we can get to a right price for the property. Then certain unique properties are also there, heritage properties, especially when we talked about villa and we talked about independent houses. So there we have seen that some properties have their unique features. So heritage properties with special restrictions, properties with unusual characteristics. Certain properties are known for their unique characteristics. You are aware of this, that we often read about certain properties. They have special features, their location, maybe some religious regions are there. So or some other reasons are there. So basically these are unusual properties, some specific characteristics, and they are much more in demand because of their uniqueness. Then specialized use properties with the limited market, but these properties are very important for those who are having specific knowledge or requirement for them. So specialized use properties are also unique, and they have their own market, their own buyers. Then coming to market trend analysis. So understanding broader economic context, minimum 12 to 24 months price data should be there, 50 to 20 transaction for statistical validity, consistent measurement criteria, economic indicator correlations, so that is there for broader economic context, analysis method, moving average for trend identification, regression analysis for price prediction, seasonal pattern recognition, and economic cycle correlation. So basically these are some analysis methods we can use, regression for price prediction, seasonal pattern recognition, understanding what are the different seasons. We have seen the seasons affecting the price. So when we are coming up with analysis, we are doing all that. Economic cycle also, sometimes there is a boom, there is a bust period in economic cycle, and sometimes we can easily fetch good prices for the same property, and sometimes we can not ask for such big prices because overall market is down. So we have to take all this into consideration. Then accuracy expectations for residential properties, plus 10 to 15% variance it is allowed. Commercial properties 15 to 20% variance, because we have seen that it's not just very straightforward like residential properties. Commercial properties do have sometimes we are using same both two processes at the same time, CMA and income approach. And then there are unique properties which have their own uniqueness there, and the comparables are not that easy to find, and other methods are not very suitable. So basically lot of independent judgment plays into it, and so 20 to 25% variance can be is acceptable in these areas. And then ethical requirements, objectivity and independence, transparent methodology disclosure, professional competence maintenance, client's confidentiality protection. So all these has to be adhered by the valuer. Then RERA impact on CMA also, we have seen that RERA has brought in a lot of transparency. This is also impacting the CMA, that is comparables are now much more aligned to the market realities. We have a better impact of RERA, transparent pricing, disclosure, escrow accounts, project completion, timeline effect, consumer protection consideration. So all that is there because of RERA. CMA application, we have pre-purchase due diligence now, investment decision validation, we have fair pricing assessment, and market transparency has enhanced. So it has also improved the valuation sector in India because of that. Career application, we can understand that real estate investment firms, property consultant companies, these are the areas where valuer are found. Bank lending departments, government valuation roles, independent practice opportunities. Skill development, professional certifications, technology proficiency, market specialization, client relationship management. So, these are something which can be something which valuer should learn, and these are the industries where they are required and application of that is there. Application of these valuation experts are there. Conclusion. So, essential concept for professional practice, core principle, substitution principle drives all CMA analysis, market evidence must support all conclusions, professional adjustment require documentation, quality control ensure accuracy and reliability. Success factor for CMA, comprehensive data collection and verification, that is the must. Systematic adjustment methodology, statistical validation of conclusions, professional presentation standards should be maintained. So, these are some important takeaways from CM analysis. In next class, we will be discussing another methodology for valuation. Thank you so much.